Cute as a cupcake, where the cupcakes are more than just cute, they're delicious. Get by 2008 West 81st in Maryville, Indiana, and check out Cute as a Cupcake. Or you can have them delivered directly to your door. So it doesn't matter if you're in California or North Carolina. Go to www.cuteasacupcake3.com and order your cupcakes today. That's www.cuteasacupcake3.com for your cupcakes. Good afternoon, and welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I am your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. And once again, thank each and every one of you for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I truly appreciate each and every one of you guys. So look, what's on tap, what's on deck for this week? This week we're going to talk about why did my credit score go down? So the reason this came up actually is because this week, and you pretty much know, every week if I get a theme of emails and calls and inboxes and whatnot that seem to be in the same frame, things are happening to people and there's a common theme, then I bring it to you guys. I bring it to you on the next show. Most of the time, often, of course, I have like this list of shows that I want to do and hear the topics and whatnot. But sometimes when something comes up over and over and over again, I think that it's happening to way more people than are actually contacting me. So I want to bring it to the masses and hopefully help you guys out when it comes to that and see if we can answer some of those questions for you. So today we're going to talk about what or why my credit score is going down. So seemingly, you're doing the right things. You've done some positive things for your credit, and you haven't done anything negative in your mind for your credit, but your credit score went down this week or last week or what have you, and you're just trying to figure out what in the world is going on. So if you've been listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show, there's been a gang of tips, right? A gang of tips about what you're supposed to do about your credit. Just a couple of weeks ago, we did the show Bass Backwards, if you will, some of the non-common sense things that impact your credit score. So there's a lot of things that's going on. So we're going to discuss that today on the 800 Credit Score Man Show. And we're going to discuss, because if you don't follow me on social media, then you may not know this at all. And I've been telling you guys, follow me on social media, follow me everywhere. So on Facebook, 800 Credit Score Man page. Go there and check that page out on Facebook. Like the page. So if you like the page, then you'll get posts and whatnot. Get into Credit Score Comeback, the group Credit Score Comeback on Facebook. Get in that group, send the request. Now, I will warn you. There are about 200 requests that are in limbo and waiting for people to be approved. Now, I approve everybody, and I'm going to tell you right now, I actually go through your profile. So that's why, people sit back and, it might be 2 weeks, 2 months before I accept you into the group, because I actually look at people's profile. I'm just trying to protect the integrity of the group, if you will, when it comes to that. So I don't allow people to advertise their businesses, whether it's a credit business or if it's a mortgage business or you're selling makeup. I don't allow people to do that in the Credit Score Comeback group. So it may take me some time to get to you, but go ahead and say, hey, I want to be in that group. And then if you would like the gentleman did last week, sent me an email or he sent me a post and said, hey, I tried to get in the group and I haven't been admitted yet. And so I went directly to him and I was able to allow him to get in the group. So you guys do that. Credit Score Comeback. Follow me there. Go to Instagram. I'm 800 Credit Score Man on Instagram. And on Twitter, I'm at Credit Score _man. I always follow back on Twitter. I'm going to stop saying always, because there's a couple people that have followed me and you have absolutely no followers. I'm not going to be your first follower unless I know you personally, and that's just the way it is. So I don't know if you're a bot. I don't know what it is, but if you've got no followers and you follow me, I'm probably not going to follow you right back. But again, if you're somebody that listens to the show and you say, hey man, I heard about it on the show, then email me, inbox me, what have you, and then I'll look into going ahead and hitting that follow button for you on Twitter. So we're going to talk about. So since you know, if you don't follow me on that, you have no idea what I was going to tell you and what happened and transpired for me this week. So on August the 26th, a day for me that I'm going to remember probably forever, I actually achieved a 850 credit score. Yes, a perfect credit score I achieved on August the 26th. So I was just messing around. You know how you always get those emails and whatnot from everybody. So I'm on a whole bunch of different platforms that give you your credit score. So I'm on Experian. So Experian sent me, hey, your credit score is updated. I went to check it out, and to my amazement, it said 850. So Experian gives you a FICO score, so it's not a Vantage score. It's a FICO score, so they give you FICO 8 is the version that they are giving you for free. So if you haven't signed up with Experian.com, go do that. Sign up for free, so you can get your credit score, a FICO score from them. Every time you sign on, they're going to ask you, do you want to upgrade your thing or whatever. If you don't want to upgrade, you don't want to pay any additional money for whatever, then don't do that. But yes, I achieved a 850 but maybe a few months back. I said, hey, you guys, I'm knocking on the door of 850. I have been as high as 847 at some point in time in the last 6 or 7 years. And then recently I was at like an 839. And I said, what the heck? I might as well shoot for the 850. I never actually thought that I would reach 850. It's just extremely hard to do that. I didn't even look up what the percentage of people with a perfect score and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. But at least not for this time. I've done it in the past, looked up to see, what percentage, what 0.01% of people that have an 850 or whatever. And I just didn't do it this time. But I don't know. So, I made that post on all of my social media saying, hey, I reached the 850 and, a lot of congratulations and all that stuff. So thank you guys for that. And, it's been a long time coming. So it's just something to be proud of. And it's not going to last. Now, I know it's not going to last, and I'm still going to be disappointed when it drops and it's, back down to 839 or whatever it is, but it's not going to last. Your credit scores fluctuate. So it's not as if I've reached that plateau, and as long as I don't do anything negative as far as miss a payment or get a collection or something of that nature, it's not as if it's going to stay there. Things are going to naturally happen. I'm going to charge something on a credit card. It may even happen if I pay a credit card off. That score might fall some. Eventually, I'm going to pay my vehicle off. Things of that nature, things will happen, and your credit scores will fluctuate. That's another thing I needed to warn you guys about when it comes to, you listening. And I encourage you to listen to other people. I don't necessarily have all of the answers when it comes to credit. I have a bunch of them, and I know the things that work and things that I've done has worked for me and hundreds of clients that have worked to get their credit scores up. But I encourage you to listen to other people. But like I said in a few shows ago, if it's too good to be true, then maybe it isn't, right? So be cautious when it comes to that. And then if anybody's telling you they have, an 850 credit score, and it's been 850, and they're still telling you that, and it's 5-6 months later, and they're still saying that they're maintaining the 850 credit score, and especially if they're telling you that they're doing that while they're telling you, yep, I'm getting this credit card, and I'm charging on this one, and I'm doing a balance transfer on that one so I can get zero and all that stuff. All of those things impact your credit. There's no way in the world you can maintain and keep a 850 credit score or any score with that kind of activity going on. So like I said last time, you don't necessarily have to run away, but I would back away slowly from those people. So yes, I achieved the 850 credit score, and I just wanted to give myself a pat on the back for that. A couple people said, hey man, you're gonna shout yourself out about that on the show, and absolutely I'm gonna shout myself out about that on the show. So oh man, we nine and a half minutes in. I gotta give a couple shout outs, right? So I gotta give this huge shout out. Big supporter. So this is my Aunt Unetta and Uncle Skippy, as we call them, Norman and Unetta Bacon. Celebrated their 65th wedding anniversary. You heard me, their 65th wedding anniversary. So I wanted to say congratulations to you guys. What an awesome example. Some of us don't make it 6 months, but you got 65 years in the game. So congratulations to you, Uncle Skippy and Aunt Yanetta. And then I got to give a big shout out to Dolores Garrett, who I'm not gonna tell her age. I'm not gonna tell her age, but I want to say happy birthday to Dolores Garrett. She reached an absolute milestone as well. So happy birthday to you, Dolores Garrett. I got to give a shout out to my great nephew, Reese Denson. And you know how I usually start with the youngest among us. Reese Denson celebrated his second birthday the other day. So happy birthday to you, Reese, as well. And speaking on anniversaries, George and Beth Crawford celebrated their third anniversary. So got a little ways to go to catch up with Uncle Skippy and Aunt Yanetta, but I want to say happy anniversary to George and Beth Crawford as well. I got some more. I'm going to save them for the end of the show. All right, so let's get back to this 850. So ultimately, what's the question? How in the world did you get to 850? And then secondly, how long did it take you to get to 850? Those are two main questions that'll come up, and that have already come up since I posted this on Thursday or whatever it was. So, how do you get to an 850? All of those things that I've been talking to you about, the 5 pillars of credit, and watching the other things that may impact your credit score, are how you get to an 850. So when it comes to the 5 pillars of credit, you've got to have a perfect payment history. Not just because you've made a mistake in the past, you've gotten a hiccup in the past, doesn't mean that you can't get there. Because ultimately what happens, those late payments and whatnot, they fall off of your credit report. So they're basically only going to stay on your credit report for 7 years. So it could take a while for that to happen. But I have a perfect payment history over who knows how many years. It's been more than 7 years, but it's been a long time since I've missed a payment that comes on my credit, that goes on my credit report. And all is not lost if you do miss a payment, because you know what you can do. You can call that particular account. You can ask them to politely remove that from your credit report, right? You can do that in that goodwill letter from them, especially if it's one missed payment. You've been a customer for 10, 15, maybe even just 5 years you've been a customer. You can ask them to remove that for you. So all is not lost if you've missed a payment to try to get to an 850, which is, let me stop here, which is not necessarily a goal for my clients, not necessarily was a goal for me before I got so close. So you don't have to get an 850 to get the best of the whatever. You don't have to do that to get the 850, and I've explained that a bunch of times. You don't need to get the 850 to do so. Not going to necessarily give you anything but bragging rights, if you will, because once you hit excellent at all, whichever bank, whichever institution you walk in, then they should be giving you the best rate possible, especially if you know what you're talking about, all right? Or you act like you know what you're talking about. So you got to have a good payment history, of course, right? That's the biggest portion of what's going on with your credit score. Is the biggest portion of it. Now I'm gonna skip down to inquiries instead of trying to go by the weighting that goes with the 5 pillars. But with your inquiries, I happen to only have one inquiry left on my credit report. It's been 2 years since I purchased anything that I had to get financed or whatnot. It's been 2 years. That actually happened in July 2 years ago, 2018, and since they fall off after 2 years. But we also know in the newer versions of FICO 8, 9, and 10, after 12 months, they don't even count them against you anymore. But however, though, I'm just telling you what happened with me. That particular, although I think it was 3 inquiries, have fallen off over the last 2 months. So now I have showed 0 inquiries on my credit report altogether. Did that have some impact on it? Potentially, but as far as what we know, and credit bureaus are not taking that into account for you after 12 months, it shouldn't have had that big of an impact on my credit score. It shouldn't have been something that pushed me to 850, but who knows, right? All right, so you got those couple of things that you need to do. Of course, you need to have a good mix. A mix, we're talking about different types of credit. Simply, the credit bureaus just like to see